Yoga is very dear to my heart because I feel as if I'm very spiritual with my mind and like to explore those qualities, and it's also really good for you. So let me just give you a brief description of yoga. The definition is a Hindu spiritual and ascetic discipline, a part of which including breath control, simple meditation, and the adoption of specific bodily postures is widely practiced for health and relaxation. So I'm going to be demonstrating two poses today. The first is downward facing dog and the second is upward facing dog. And before I get into those, I'm just going to show you my props here. So this is a yoga mat. This here is a block, and it's mainly used for aiding you if you're not that skilled in yoga, or if you're just not that very flexible. You can use it for positions like this if you can't really reach the ground. You can use it for back support if you have any problem areas. It's a really good support system. And then here I have a strap. It's also used to aid you if you're not very flexible. You can use it if you're not very flexible in your hamstrings, or if you want to choose it in your arms. Basically anything you really need, it's just there to help you out. So block, strap, mat. Now I'm going to start giving you a little info about downward facing dog, the first pose. So the pronunciation where this word came from, it also means Adho Mukha Savasana or Adho Mukha Shavasana, also known as downward dog or down dog. It's got a lot of names. The names come from the Sanskrit words adhas, meaning down, mukha meaning face, svana meaning dog, and asana meaning posture or seat. So let me give you a little anatomy about the position. So it targets two muscle groups, this position, primary muscles and the secondary muscles. So the primary muscles that are targeted are the trapezius, latissimus dorsi, triceps, gluteus maximus, hamstrings, and it's a full body integrated position. And the secondary muscles, also known as the synergists or stabilizers, that it targets are the rhomboids, the rotator cuff, the anterior and medial deltoids, the posterior deltoids, the extensors, the serratus anterior, the soleus, and it's a full gastrocnemius body integrated position. So before I demonstrate this position myself, I am going to give you a brief description of what you're supposed to do. So the preparatory position is with the hands and knees on the floor. Hands under the shoulders, fingers widespread. Knees are under the hips with the spine straightened and relaxed. On a deep exhale, the hips are pushed towards the ceiling, the body forming an inverted V shape. The back is straight, the legs are straight, the heels reaching to the floor, and the hands are open like a starfish, keeping the forefinger and the thumb pressing down onto the mat. The arms are straight with their inner elbows turning towards the ceiling. The shoulders are wide and relaxed. You keep the neck lengthened, and the hands are shoulder width apart, and the feet remain hip width apart. The navel is drawn in towards the spine, keeping the core engaged. It's very important. And so the hips move up and back, and on an exhale, the practitioner, me, releases onto hands and knees and rests in balasana or child's pose, which I'm also going to show you at the very end. So here I'm going to demonstrate. So you start on your hands and your knees, hands straight, hands like a starfish, inside of your elbows pointing towards the front of the room. And then you're going to curl your toes and lift up, and you're going to push back, so you're trying to get your heel to get on the ground. So you're going to push back as much as you can. It really works out your hamstrings. Keep your hands wide, look through your thighs, and you're just going to engage your core, suck in, and keep your hips back. And you just want to keep long like this. And then when you're done, you go on your knees and you rest in child's pose. That's just a resting position that many practitioners do to relax after a tough position. Normally people hold that position for about 60 seconds, so it's very rigorous. And then the benefits of this pose, I read that BKS Iyengar, one of the foremost yoga teachers in the world, asserts that this asana stretches the shoulders, legs, spine, and whole body. Builds strength throughout the body, particularly in the arms, legs, and feet. It relieves fatigue and rejuvenates the body. It improves the immune system, digestion, and blood flow to the sinuses, and it calms the mind and lifts the spirits. And then a resource that I got for this pose was by Allison Ross and Sue Thomas. in the health benefits of yoga and exercise, a review of comparison studies in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine. And a little excerpt I got from there was the studies comparing the effects of yoga and exercise seem to indicate that in both healthy and diseased populations, yoga may be as effective or better than exercise at improving a variety of health-related outcome measures. Future clinical trials are needed to examine the distinctions between exercise and yoga, particularly how the two modalities may differ. Additional studies using rigorous methods are needed to examine the health benefits of the various types of yoga. So that's a little quote I got from there. And the next pose is upward facing dog. So the pronunciation of this pose is Urdhva Mukha Svasana, or upward facing dog pose as an asana. And so the name comes from the Sanskrit words Urdhva meaning up, Mukha meaning face, Suvan meaning dog, and asana meaning posture or seat. So the description of this pose is you lie your stomach on the floor, you stretch your legs back with the tops of your feet on the floor. Bend your elbows and spread your palms on the floor besides your waist so your forearms are relatively perpendicular to the floor. So perpendicular. Inhale and press your inner hands firmly into the floor and slightly back as if you were trying to push yourself forward away from the floor, and then straighten your arms and simultaneously lift your torso up and your legs a few inches off the floor on an inhalation. Keep the thighs firm and the arms turned out so the elbow creases face forward. Firm the shoulder blades against the back, lift through the top of the sternum, look straight ahead for the tip or the back, or tip the head back slightly, or look straight ahead but do not harden the throat. You don't want to injure your throat. So I'm going to demonstrate here. So you start on your hands and knees like this, and then you're going to go down on your stomach, arms straight, legs straight, and then you're going to inhale, lift up, legs completely lifted off the floor, arms straight, hands starfish, and you can either look forward or you can look up, but you don't want to strain your neck. You mainly just want to keep your arms and your legs and your toes are pointed like this, and that's how you do that. And then you can come down, back in child's pose to take a breather after that. And so the benefits of this pose are posture is improved, spine is strengthened, the arms, wrists are strengthened, stretches the chest, the lungs, the shoulders, and the abdomen, stimulates abdominal organs, helps relieve mild depression, fatigue, it's also therapeutic for asthma. And so there are some contraindications though that comes with this pose. So some negative effects: you could get a back injury, carpal tunnel syndrome, headache, or pregnancy. So there are some negative effects to the pose, which normally doesn't happen in yoga, but it can. So I just wanted to give you those. And so I have two resources for this pose. One was by Satbir Khalsa in the evaluation of the mental health benefits of yoga in a secondary school, a preliminary randomized controlled trial in the Journal of Behavioral Health Sciences and Research. A little excerpt I got from there was these preliminary results suggest that implementation of yoga is acceptable and feasible in a secondary school setting and has the potential of playing a protective or preventative role in maintaining mental health, which is really cool. And then the second resource I got for this pose was Thomas Leigh Coroller. It's in the musculoskeletal injuries related to yoga and imaging observations, and it's in the American Journal of Rotanology. And a little excerpt from that is the most frequently encountered musculoskeletal injuries were tendinous lesions, including tears of the supraspinatus, Achilles, and peroneus brevis tendons, and tears involving the medial meniscus, the labrum, the glenoid labrum, and lumbar disc with extrusion. So that was a little excerpt I got from that resource. So thank you very much. That was my demonstration of yoga.